Hey guys, Adrian Morrison here, and this is one of the most important videos about Facebook advertising in this entire course. So I want you to pay very close attention because I am going to show you how to snipe out the highest converting keywords in all of Facebook. Okay, so get ready for this. First, we're going to show you a slide, and then we're going to go through and go into Facebook and show you how to go about the keyword mining process. So let's go. Okay, so there are a couple of different types of keywords that you need to be looking out for. See, most people go into Facebook, excuse me, and they just start slamming all of the keywords they can find into their list, and it usually results into a crap campaign that does not convert very well. You need to be able to trim the fat and get the highest converting keywords possible. So one of the first types of keywords you should be looking for are long tail keywords. So keywords that have a lot of different, like a sentence, if you will, and not just like nurses, right? And I'm going to show you an example of how to find long tail keywords and what a long tail keyword looks like in a minute. The other type of keyword that a lot of people do not know that you can target is .com keywords. So keywords with .com in them. So you can find some very passionate people based off of targeting specific website addresses. Now, not every website address will show up as a keyword in Facebook, only ones that people have a very high affinity for. Okay, so you can find some very passionate people by targeting .com keywords. I'll show you an example here in a minute. Special characters in your keywords, like zigzags and brackets and exclamation points, stuff like that. Keywords that are all lowercase are always very good keywords to have. And then first person keywords like I love Yorkies, I love so-and-so, anything in first person, it typically is a good keyword. And then other brands and businesses or websites as keywords. So first, let's go up to the top and look at long tail keywords. So here is a little example of some long tail keywords I pulled from Facebook, like Registered Nurses Association of Ontario, American Society of Registered Nurses, Association of Perioperative Registered Nurses. These are all very long keywords. These keywords typically render higher results because they consist of more passionate people. Think about the nursing niche. How many of us appreciate all of the hardworking nurses out there that take care of us when we get sick or take care of our loved ones when they're hospitalized, right? There is a high affinity and appreciation for nurses and police officers and firemen and EMTs and all these things. So what happens is if you go in and target the keyword nurses and you're marketing within the nursing niche, you're probably not going to get great results because you're hitting likers by association. You're hitting people that just appreciate, right, nurses. You're not actually hitting just nurses. But somebody that matches Registered Nurses Association or American Society of Registered Nurses, you can bet that the people that show up on those keywords are more likely an actual nurse, not just somebody that says, oh, I appreciate and I like nurses. Now, .com keywords. A lot of people do not know you can find these. I'm going to show you how it's done in this video, so don't you worry about that. This is really awesome. It's not always possible to find keywords in your niche that have a .com, but if you can, they'll usually convert very well. Because think about it. Anybody that goes to NurseZone or Nurse Connect or nursetogether.com is probably a nurse. You're not going to have people that that liked a post on Facebook about nursing because they were supporting one of their friends that's a nurse browsing these niche websites like nursetogether.com or nursezone.com. So if you can find these massive brands that have keywords or websites that have keywords, then they can become very powerful and very high converting. Once again, these are the least common types of keywords that you'll find. So they're far and few, but if you find some .com keywords in your niche, you better believe that they're going to be a hot keyword. Another thing that's far and few, that is usually a very high converting type of keyword, are keywords that have special characters. You notice that this keyword Yorkies in gray, I don't know why it's grayed out, but it has an exclamation point. I put a little green arrow there so it points to it. You might have to squint to see it, but it's got an exclamation point at the end. That is a very passionate, very precise keyword. So if it has squigglies and brackets and arrows and exclamation points and stuff like that, it's usually a very precise keyword. It's going to be a keyword that has a high affinity of passionate people usually. So be on the lookout for those. Lowercase keywords. That means keywords in all lowercase. Now these are harder and harder to find this year. They used to be much easier to locate, but Facebook changes, and sometimes it's for the better. Sometimes it makes our lives a little bit more complicated. But all lowercase keywords are very precise and passionate interests. Okay, so notice here that when I did a search in Facebook for a registered nurse, one came up that's capitalized, one came up that's all lowercase. Now, I can't explain to you why the lowercase one is more passionate and more precise, and it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you know that if it's an all lowercase keyword, that it's probably going to be a better version than the uppercase one. And I guess just to explain a little bit about it, registered nurse is a common term, right? It's a very common term. So Facebook might have the term registered nurse as a broad category. There's a broad group of registered nurses. But in all lowercase letters means somebody typed it on their profile. They commented on something that was very, very precise to registered nurses. It's just, honestly, I'm not Facebook, so I can't totally explain the difference. All I know is that if it's all lowercase, it's going to be a more precise, higher converting audience 99 out of 100 times, okay? Now, that's not to say that the uppercase one is not a good keyword. It just means that the lowercase one is probably going to consist of more precise registered nurses rather than likers by association. First person keywords like I am a registered nurse or I love Yorkies. These are keywords that are very, very precise, very specific, that usually bring in much better results than Yorkies or nurse or nurses. All right, and other brands, businesses, or websites. 9-Line Apparel is a pretty big brand for military and officer appreciation type t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. As a matter of fact, I was watching a political debate, and a lot of people were wearing 9-Line Apparel t-shirts. So when there's a really popular brand, and I'm not talking like Apple or Walmart or Kmart, I'm talking about something like 9-Line Apparel, which is not like a billion-dollar company. They're more of a personal mom and pop shop started brand that just blew up and got really big on the internet. You can usually find those types of brands as keywords. And think about it. Anybody that's buying t-shirts and apparel from this 9-line company that revolves around Second Amendment rights and gun lovers and, all sorts of stuff. If you're targeting something within the same niche, you're targeting a t-shirt about the Second Amendment niche. Anybody that likes 9-line apparel is going to have a high affinity for that Second Amendment niche. You can do this in any niche. You can look at baby boutiques and gamer websites and gamer companies. Just any kind of company that you can find that's not like your typical general Walmart. If you can find their company as a keyword, their business as a keyword, you're going to be hitting people that are interested in that specific niche that they market. So if you have a product that lines up with that, it could become a very, very good keyword for you. So these are all of the types of keywords that you should be mining, okay? Now let's go to Facebook, and I want to show you how you can start finding these types of keywords and building some sick keyword lists that convert like freaking wildfire. So let's jump over to Facebook now. Okay, so here we are in Facebook ads where I am in the middle of building a campaign. So I've gone in and hit create an ad. Now we are at the section where we choose our age group, our gender, and any of our detailed targeting keywords. So what we're gonna do is just mine for some really hot converting nurse keywords, okay? So if you recall, we've got a couple of different types of keywords to look for. Longtail.com, special character, lowercase, first person, and other brands' business or websites. You're not always going to find all of them for your niche. You're just looking for any that you can find. So what a lot of people will do is they'll come in here and say, oh, I'm targeting this t-shirt that says I'm a proud nurse, or a bracelet that says proud nurse, or nurse appreciation, whatever. People will come in here and say, okay, well, let's type in nurse. Oh, look, here's a whole bunch of nurse keywords. Notice the difference though. Some of them are interests, job titles, fields of study, and of course, you've got like these massive ones right here. Like as you're scrolling down, one of the common things people screw up in is saying, oh, I want to choose the one with the most people in it. Look at this. When I type in nurse, I find this keyword that's got 4.5 million people in it. Okay, that's a great keyword. Not necessarily. That's very broad. It's going to have a lot of likers by association in it, and it's probably not going to convert near as well as some of these other ones. So let's start looking at some of the longer tail keywords, because those were the first on our list. So these are all 2 words, but as I scroll down, licensed practical nurse, okay? That's a longer tail keyword. Now look what happens when I do that. As soon as I put in one of those long tail keywords, Facebook instantly starts recommending some other ones to me. So look at this, American Association of Nurses of Anesthesia. Don't laugh at me. I can't pronounce that word. I'm not even going to try, but I bet you it's a high converting keyword, right? So Facebook is going to start recommending a lot of these very long tail keywords. Look at this. Minnesota, Tennessee, National Nurses United. Look at this one. Huge. Like those weren't showing up a second ago, right? We weren't able to see any of these keywords when we just typed in nurses. What we had to do is go in and tell Facebook, hey, we're looking for these long tail keywords. Yeah, they've got small groups of people in them. Look, 50,000, 440,000, 440, 461, 219, 6,000. This one's actually good. It's got 2.8 million in it. And this one is a very, very precise keyword. But you can see here now, we're able to instantly just start building a huge list of these keywords that are long tail. And look, over here, we're hitting in the United States of America, we're hitting 2.4 million people. Because remember, we have this as US, okay? So when you're looking at these numbers right here, you're looking, see where it says 461,000? That's worldwide, okay? That's worldwide. When you actually choose the keyword, Facebook's going to show you how many people you're targeting in the US or whatever country it is you're targeting. Okay, so look how quickly we built up a list of very precise long tail keywords. Now, the next thing we were going to look for was .com keywords. So typically when you type a keyword in, you're not going to see a .com just pop up. It's just simply not going to happen. Occasionally on some keywords you can get lucky and a .com will pop up. But you'll notice if I type in nurse or nurses, there are no .coms here, okay? Or any other niche. You know, I could type in Yorkie and it's not popping up .com keywords. So you have to kind of try to find these by tricking Facebook a little bit. So let's type in nurse.com. All right, not nurse.com. See, if I type in nurse.com, it finds specifically that website. It finds specifically nurse.com. 593,000 people. We wouldn't want to hit employers. We'd want to hit the people interested in nurse.com. All right, or we could type in nurse.com and look what happens. It brings up quite a few .com keywords. So let's go ahead and hit nurse.com, and it's not necessarily going to bring up a bunch of suggested ones right now because Facebook does not typically show the .coms. You got to start searching for those. And we're just going to go through and we're going to start grabbing all of these. Now, if you get enough, Facebook might start suggesting them, but it doesn't happen that often. See how I'm just going down and I'm typing in nurse.com, but it's bringing up these other websites. Now we have all of our nurse keywords in here, from nurse.com, Nurse Connect, Nurse Together, Nurse Rounds. So these are very, very precise .com keywords. And you'll see they're still not suggesting, oh, actually they did, allnurses.com. That's great. Okay, see that one wasn't showing up in our list. So when you come through and start looking for the suggested keywords, then you might be able to find like one or two .coms. So you see how instantly, just by coming over here and typing in my keyword and com, or see how, look, when you space it out or do the dot, it brings up different things. All right, so that would be .com keywords. Now, special characters. This one's going to be hard to find because there's not always a keyword that has a special character in it. Now, if I look for Yorkies, I know that this one comes up and it's got the exclamation point. See over here where it says Yorkies right here with the exclamation point. So sometimes you can find those. This would not count, okay? This one right here would not count with the parentheses. But in like, see, the parentheses usually is to specify something specific, like Yorkie the chocolate bar versus Yorkie the dog. So you're looking for the exclamation points, the squigglies. These are far and few. I'm talking about like these are harder to find than you know, your typical other type of keyword. So I don't think, you know, I've ever found any for nurses, but you just have to come through here and just start typing stuff in and see if it can find anything for you. So like nursing, not seeing anything pop up. Nursing. So I'm not seeing anything pop up for nurses other than down here we've got medical surgical nursing, but that's really more like a word. This one has a special character in it. So, you know, there's going to be few of these, but if you find one that's got a bunch of funky special characters in it, it's pure gold. Then you've got lowercase keywords. So say you're looking for the keyword nurse. You got registered nurse and registered nurse. This one's got 4.8 million people, and this one has 1 million people in it. You're probably like, okay, well, what the heck is the difference? I don't know. All I know is this one is better. That's all I can tell you. The smaller keyword is less likers by association. These are more precise, higher affinity, more passionate people about the niche. And look, you're eliminating almost 4 million people from, if you, instead of using this keyword, you use this one. That's a good thing because you're hitting the top tier 1 million people that are the most passionate, right? And look, so you've got or staff nurse or nurse. These are all keywords that are critical care RN. They're all lowercase. Look, registered practical nurse. That's another all lowercase. And as you start adding more and more and more, Facebook will start displaying more and more and more lowercase to you. Emergency room nurse. So always look through their suggestions. I don't know what NCLX reviewers is, but you might want to do some research on that. ICU nurse. See, these are very, very, very precise keywords. And of course, anything that's in all caps, I think I saw one a second ago. I should have added that. If it's in all caps, it's usually very precise as well. Because Facebook likes to do each letter capitalized. But I saw one in here like nurse. Yeah, like this one that's all capital letters is a good keyword. It's precise because it's all capital letters. So anything that's all capital letters like this is usually going to be a pretty decent keyword, okay? Now, the next thing after you hit the lowercase keywords are the first person keywords. So I love nurse. All right, look, I love being a nurse. Comes up with 80,000 people in it. And you might not find a lot of personalized ones, but usually I'll type in I love and then the niche, nursing, and let's see if we can find anything special in here. I love nursing. I love nurse school. Okay, I'm not finding too much, but if you can find the I love of your interest, it's typically going to be a really good keyword. Now, other brands, businesses, or websites kind of falls into the same category as the .coms, but not always. I don't know, like, totally about the brands, but I think I saw one in here for Kaplan nurses. Let's see. Actually, let's go back to their suggestions. If you're trying to stick in one niche, you're not usually going to find everything you're not going to find all different types of keywords. You're going to find some special character, maybe some lowercase, maybe some long tail, but it's not likely you're going to find each and every one of the different types of keywords. Now, something like future nurses, that might do okay. NCLEX, that seems to be, it kind of sounds like pharmaceutical type stuff. You might want to go do some research on that. But Kaplan, if this is a nursing related term, then this would fall under the other brand, business, or website. Because Kaplan is when I was going to go to law school, I didn't make it, but I tried. I went to Kaplan to study, to take the LSAT, the LSAT, to get into law school, and it really helped. So Kaplan is a big company that helps aspiring attorneys and doctors and potentially maybe nurses study for the tests that you need to qualify to get into those graduate level programs. So this might end up being a really great keyword and falling under the other brand, business, or website keywords. So now we've built up 3.1 million mega bullseye targeted people that are all interested in the nursing niche. So at this point, you've got a great keyword. This is a good keyword list for the nursing niche. I mean, I can't guarantee it's going to convert because it always depends on your product, but it's a good keyword list. So if you're marketing something in the nursing niche, You know, we've got our .coms, our long tails, our special characters, our lowercase, our first persons, our other business website in here. This is how you build a very, very, very precise keyword list. And we've literally mined through Facebook's targeting options and picked out these golden nuggets. All right. It's kind of like when I was a kid, I went to this I forget what it's called, some natural forest museum where they would allow us to get these pans and dip them into a river. And supposedly there was little chunks of gold that you could find floating down this river. And they would give us these pans and we'd put them in the river and they would catch all the debris in the river. They would catch little rocks and stuff like that. And you'd lift the pan up out of the river. You'd shake it and all of the dirt and the mud and stuff like that would fall through the little holes in the bottom of the pan. And then you would be left with just the rocks. And you would be able to sift through, after getting rid of all the junk, right? You would be able to sift through and it would be easier to find the gold. And that's what we just did, is we literally just shed through all of the fat. We cut away at it. We shook it off. And we dove straight in to mine for the gold, the golden keywords. If you follow this strategy right here for your niche, you will find good keywords that will convert as long as you are promoting a good product to them that resonates, that they would be interested in. This is how you find keywords that convert. So I hope you enjoyed this video on mining for keywords. I certainly think it's extremely valuable. Like I said, I feel like this is the most valuable video in the entire course for Facebook ads. So please watch this again. This will help you build a solid audience to target. Oh, and lastly, after you go through all this trouble to mine your keywords and build a list, and you can make this bigger and bigger and bigger. I didn't find everything I could have. You can come over here to save the audience. You can click this button and you can name the audience and save it. And in the future, if you want to promote to nurses again and promote another nursing product, you don't have to mine for the keywords every time. You can just come in here and name the audience and save it. And you'll always have these keywords sitting here waiting for you to use in the future when you promote other things. So that's another quick tip for you. So hope you enjoyed this. Get started mining for some golden Facebook keywords, and I'll see you on the next video.